I'm in the middle this time.
The center of our universe, Daniel.
Center of the universe. Apologies for the delay. We had a brief technical difficulty in that Zoom did not want to go to Facebook Live, and then Facebook Live didn't want to go to Facebook Live. And it was sorted by me re-downloading Chrome. And we're only 2 minutes delayed, so I think that's good. So today, talking about online debating, all of the excellent tournaments that are coming up. That'll be fun, and obviously there are pros and cons to online debating, so hopefully what we can do in this episode is just listen to all of your complaints, and then give you some ways that we think the community can respond to those issues. But just as usual, general chat, obviously no longer in lockdown, but what's the vibe? How are people feeling? Riding the political...
Yeah, we're right. I've spent too long following National Party politics for the last few days. Congratulations to Matthew Hooton and the Mongolian candidate, Todd Muller. I'm going to have a beer.
Matthew Hooton was the ambassador?
Is he still the ambassador? He'll probably have to resign now. He'll be made National Party Chief of Staff.
So has it been announced that he's going to be National Party Chief of Staff?
No, but...
It's definitely...
I don't know if I should talk about it on stream, but like... Matthew Hooton and Ben Thomas, who works for Matthew Hooton, have spent the last week in the media, as far as I can tell, running a deliberate political strategy for Todd Muller and his candidacy to be National Party leader. And then, surprise, surprise, today, he shut down his Twitter account. He was on a plane down to Wellington. And he was
there, yeah.
And he was in the fucking legislative council chamber when Todd Muller was giving a speech. And it's like, oh, good. The media have just had Ben Thomas and Matthew Hooton on their channel 24/7. Did they disclose they may or may not have had a client? I don't know. I think the media have to take
lobbying reform.
I think the media need to take a big fucking hard look at themselves, because if it comes out that Matthew Hooton and Ben Thomas and Exceltium were working for Todd Muller, and they just had all this free media coverage basically for his candidacy, and there was no corresponding representation of the Bridges team, and the media just didn't do any due diligence on that, I think it'll look fucking bad.
You heard it here first. Justice for Simon. Justice
for
Simon.
I don't know, man. It's anyway. Sorry, this is real fucking insider chat. Most people watching this like won't give a shit. Like, shout out to Don Gwain. I don't think you probably give a shit about New Zealand centre-right politics, but glad to see you here for debating.
No, it's the Australians. They're drawn by the idea that there was a spill.
I tell you what, Beach would find this shit outrageous. Beach gets like centre-right internal political like bullshit. Shout out to Beach. I don't think he's watching.
How has your week been, Grace?
Good. Only minorly derailed by the leadership contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's yours been?
Very good, very good. Relaxed. Not too much online debating, but we did have an excellent club night last night. We ended up staying up to like 10 p.m. playing random games on the internet over a Zoom call. Very social, very fun.
We had some people in from Mexico tonight. That's gonna be fun. I might get a little bit fucked up.
Joe has, if you're able to make, well, you obviously can't, but I can make a line of sight for our kitchen, and you can see the like 3 bottles of tequila, 8 bottles of Cointreau, and
it's 2 bottles of tequila, a bottle of Cointreau. There's frozen mango in the freezer. There's a fucking big bowl of sangria on the counter. See so Umber. Shout out to Umber.
So broadly, what we're going to chat to you about tonight is online debating. Stuff that makes it good, stuff that makes it less good, ways to make it better. And I think the first thing to note is that we have a lot of cool online things coming up. So very brief plug for all of the cool things that Auckland is about to do. So obviously, last day to sign up for Whippersnapper. We have something like 70 teams attending, excellent adjudication core, and just general adjudicators. It's going to be very high quality. It's free, something that we want to really keep going as a norm, having these like high quality tournaments that are also free. And if you're looking for something that's just good for your trial CV or good to get back in the vibe of Australs debating, heavily encourage you to grab a couple of friends and come to Whippersnapper.
It's got a cute wee turtle.
It does.
As
CA.
As CA. Yeah. There's a cute wee turtle. That'll be good. That should be fun. There's a fuck ton of teams going.
It's just going to be enormous. But very good, very good. Equally, Auckland is obviously still having its online ongoing clubs nights. We still have our development seminars. You can find those all on the Facebook page. If you are an Auckland speaker, we're retrialing for Joint Scroll very soon. I think that's going to be announced over the weekend. So if you're interested in coming to Joint Scroll, New Zealand's longest running tournament, one of the longest running tournaments in the world, have a think about that. And equally, we've got Women Development Day coming up. So if you are a woman from Auckland or a friend of the club, just go to our Facebook page and you'll be able to see the Women's Development Day that
Also,
is coming up.
Joint Scroll, the CA, is friend of the flat, Nick Wilson.
Yes, he is in fact a friend of the flat. We need to have him on the pod.
Oh, we should. I love Nick.
Big fan of Nick.
So Auckland is reselecting their joint teams.
Yeah.
What are other societies doing? I think Otago is keeping the same one.
Is the target keeping the same? Well, so our reasoning is that obviously with the big shift that comes over Australs, it's natural that there'll be enough of a change, and also some people aren't able to go. I'm unsure if I'm going to be able to go to Joint Scroll, which is very sad, just due to the very short-term nature of the decision and the delay itself, which were contentious political decisions. So we're going to have to reselect.
Yeah, it's tricky, yeah. I suppose that would have to differ actually on individual speakers with the societies near they could go.
Out to the community. There's a month and a half there where we're going to have Australs and Joint Scroll, and I think Officers' Cup and Schools Nationals and a heap of other things. It might be 8 weeks, but anyway, it's really, really, really tight. So I'd really encourage the community to put together a gauntlet meme for NZ debating shitposting. I was playing around with the other day doing one of these Indiana Jones, and it's the big boulder chasing after him, and he's running away from the boulder, and then on the boulder it's got all the different fucking things in that 8-week period. But I didn't quite pull it off, so I didn't post it.
What I think would be a great version of that is doing the lizard running away from the snakes in that David Attenborough film, and then each of the snakes is
it's
a
not
different
bad.
tournament.
It's not bad. Anyway, I think there's room to move on that, so I'd really encourage the community to make a meme on
Get
that.
involved. Meme competition associated with the pod. Okay, so our online, our discussion of online debating. I think we should cover roughly 4 main areas. Obviously, the social aspect of it is huge, and there's been quite a few cool things that have been done at Auckland, and other campuses have been doing as well to try and bridge that social divide. And obviously, that just becomes more and more relevant if we're having to do this for longer to try and keep the community feel going a little bit longer. There's the etiquette around competition. What's the best way to manage the unique environment of being online? And then thirdly, there's just the online debating tournaments in general. So looking at things like reg fees. What exactly should campuses be going for when they set up their online tournaments, and ways to get around some of those broader debating problems. And we've had a few comments coming in already on our stream, and I think they're going to be sent directly to Joe. So Joe can just pepper those in, just broadly into the discussion.
Can I? I mean, I don't know how structured you want this chat to be. I've been thinking long and hard about whether charging for online tournaments is acceptable or not.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to the conclusion that maybe it's a good thing. So obviously people can choose to attend or not attend the tournament, right? But presumably simple market functions means we can get more and better tournaments if people are willing to charge for them and people are willing to pay to attend. So say for example you're interested in attracting a very high quality CA team, but there was pressure on their time in terms of other tournaments, but also their life, their need to work and all that kind of stuff. The idea that you could then pay that CA team seems good and not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if we should fetishize the amateurization of our activity.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's bad.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an argument, and I think our community, in many ways, runs on the uncompensated labor of CA teams and adjudicators.
And edges, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Whether or not that's a bad thing, I think, is a different question.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's good in a lot of ways, but I don't think we should get as angry as some people are. That some people might be using financial compensation as a tool to offer more and better tournaments.
I think the major risk of the professionalization of debating is I don't think it raises the quality that distinguishably. Obviously the online era, I've been able to go to incredible free tournaments with the top quality adjudication cores. Maybe some better adjudicators would be an outcome, but there's no financial barrier to participate in what is exceptional tournaments. And I think like Australs is just a great example. Like Australs is charging $10. It's going to be a brilliant tournament. Obviously the same quality, and I'm not sure how paying judges would increase the value of that experience.
If anyone out there wants to set up the IPL of debating with me, where we just have like a hyper financialized, profit driven debating circuit, hit me up, DM me.
So if we funded that not through the participants, but through, I don't know, ad revenue and viewership and audience.
Ad revenue is bad, actually.
Oh god, people aren't going to pay to watch, aren't they?
No. Ad revenue is bad, actually.
I'm surprised
Like,
you
that's
don't.
why the news media's gone to shit and paywalls are good. Paywall the shit out of debating tournaments.
Have
Great.
they worked that well for Indie Hero?
I think it's working better than stuff after someone tried to buy them for $1 the other
Which they refused.
day.
On paid tournaments, my mind doesn't spring to CA teams, like that's what you guys are talking about, but my mind springs to just being able to pay for Tabby Cat.
Oh yeah, no,
I
totally.
like if you're using oral
Yeah.
reps, like if you're using, I don't know, like some video conferencing software that doesn't
Like,
do creepy stuff.
High
on
quality
Zoom,
digital
Like
infrastructure.
Yahtzee. Yahtzee is
I
so
think
expensive but
that's-
brilliant.
that's potentially worth paying for, and also like I don't even understand where Tabby Cat came from, but it seems to me to just be this incredible service to the community that we just have access to.
And
It's just
see,
incredible. So it's
Originally,
nice to be able to,
CZ
And
and
Phil,
Phil.
yeah.
but it's nice to be able to pay for those things to actually support that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I think what most of the discussion is either like that the tournaments should do what they normally do with a registration fee, and that's to cover costs of things like Tabby Cat and digital infrastructure, as opposed more to the giving huge amounts of money.
I think
to
CZ should put Tabby Cat up for IPO.
attract.
Talk to Goldman or something. CZ won't.
No,
watch
the
this.
problem is
But
that it's
CZ
too
should put it up.
competitive now, because people will move to Tabber if they're forced to pay for Tabby Cat, and that's
Tabber.
bad.
What's Tabber?
It's a competitor software.
Back yourself,
That's
CZ.
less. I think it's less.
Float it
good.
on the
Tabby
stock
Cat is
exchange.
excellent.
There'll be like micro stock exchanges and stuff. Raise the capital. I don't know. He goes to Stanford, right?
Mhm.
It's going to be
Honestly-
expensive in the Bay Area.
Why is it's always confusing when the Tabby Cat URL is like Hero Quet?
So that's the digital platform that runs the Tabby Cat
No, I
software.
don't understand that.
Yeah.
It's too much for me. My little pea brain doesn't understand,
But CZ does.
which is
Bang
great.
that profit.
Which is great.
Yeah, I think the major concern that a lot of people have is that eventually what happens is the best adjudicators are dragged, and the best debaters are moved towards a area that isn't financially accessible for a lot of people, and it just makes our activity 100% more elitist when rich people are just constantly debating each other and can afford to pay.
Our community is already
Hmm?
so driven by equity, though. I just don't accept that the natural response from everyone would be like, oh well, guess brown people can't debate. Like, have a cross subsidization regime whereby people in richer countries pay more to register, people in poorer countries
Yeah,
pay less.
So I like the idea of cross subsidization or making the activity more financially equitable. I just don't think that most places will do this to the degree that's necessary. Even Australs, which just runs at cost, already has a huge number of people who are priced out by that cost and can't be subsidized. If we ran tournaments as a redistributive program where we had very high registration fees for wealthy teams and then very low like regio fees for poor teams.
Well, I wouldn't make it deliberately redistributed.
Oh no, I agree with you. That's an excellent point, Joe. Maybe
I'm
we
just
should charge
saying,
lots of money.
there are benefits of professionalization that I think we should consider.
Yeah.
Circa.
Well, kind of on a tangent, I got the impression that Bali was partially managed by Bali Australs by professional
Yeah,
events people.
which was good actually.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, which was good. It meant it ran really
Smoothly.
smoothly, and I think meant less work for volunteers that puts a huge pressure on
It's
them.
actually something Ada should consider in the future, contracting out the hosting of Australs to event management companies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cape Town World also used a university affiliated event management company. Just
Yeah.
no, it was complications, but I feel like technically I think the tournament ran quite well.
Like having help with orc comming, it sucks. It's like the worst thing ever.
Mhm. So it'd be good to just pay people to do that.
Yeah,
I think I have a saying which is money makes problem go away.
it's true.
Yeah.
Can be exchanged for goods and services.
Yes, unless
Money
you don't
can be
have,
exchanged for many peanuts.
unless you don't have a lot of money, in which case money is a problem.
Yeah, second welfare theorem though, right? Like just redistribute the money and let
Yes.
markets work.
I agree. I'm a fan of that.
Lump sum taxation.
Larger distribution
Yes.
systems. Okay, neat. Social aspect. How do we overcome the social malaise of
But you can't, can you?
online betting?
You can't
I
do
don't
the
care if we
size.
do or not. This makes me a miser, but I'm really, really competitive at tournaments. I don't want to make friends with competitors. I'm really bad at it. At Worlds, Connor had to keep trying to like make small talk with people while I just like sulked. Like irrespective of the result, like it's first, I still don't talk to anyone unless I know them already. Like I don't like. I like debating. Like I like making friends and debating, but I don't generally do it during like in rounds or.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I think
then
it's really hard to make up for it.
Yeah.
Because.
But I don't mind.
Yeah, I know, because you hate people, but that's okay.
I quite like people.
I'm also a fan of people. I really enjoyed Yaka Night at Bali, and it's like, I can't say we can't do that.
Yeah. Well, you obviously can never replace the like large party atmosphere.
And also
of
just like
tournaments.
getting a bit drunk and running to other people's hotel rooms, and
Yeah,
getting all drunk, and then like getting drunk and watching Lord of the Rings on the TV with Nick, but in a hotel room.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so I think if you come from a place with where you can have a large squad, and I imagine like Sydney having so many debaters within that city could probably run some cool like inter-campus social events across Australs. I know, for example, Auckland, we're sending 6 teams to Australs and probably about 10 adjudicators. So our overall squad is going to be like roughly 30 people. And so I think that gives us a good baseline number to run social events as a squad. So having like brunches every morning, going out for like break nights. I know the break night announcement is going to be from Joe's going to take part in that.
telling me I have to be involved in this shit, and it's like,
But Joe misses the social atmosphere.
good
so
luck.
we're gonna
Good luck. I'm gonna be sitting in a dressing gown at home.
in our home and then invite everyone over, and Joe will be flushed out.
In terms of like, so I don't like chatting after debates, so I'm very happy with Zoom debates where I can just mute and go video off. In terms of connecting with the squad, which is the stuff that I do like socially about tournaments, like, you know, like I've noticed that Club Nights Auckland does these little fun activities. I've played like Cards Against Humanities. I've had card nights with friends most weeks during lockdown, and that's really nice. So it's a nice online platforms to like kind of still chat shit and like I think it's an easy way to do that.
Yeah. So like for example, we did Scriblio and we do Wikipedia
Is
races.
that one with the little owl, the Scriblio one?
No, that's Duolingo.
No. This is a different owl. There's one with an
Explain
owl,
your one.
and it's like it's a like a website game, and you have to like draw a little picture, and that's you, and then there's like weird prompts like draw X, and then you draw it, and then everyone draws
Has
the
to
drawing at the
guess.
start of the game. Everyone has to guess.
Oh yeah. So it's
Yes.
similar. It doesn't have an
Oh,
owl
okay. Because
icon
the
thing.
one that I played
Might
has
have
an
been.
owl,
I might be
and
wrong.
it's just like the drawings are all super weird things, like person frightened of the sun, like really bizarre
Okay,
stuff.
that one sounds like the cryptic version of Scriblio. I
It's
just more like
super
lamppost.
It's super cryptic and super like surreal. So I just played it one night with a few glasses of wine, and then I was just like, it was like an out of body experience. It was the weirdest thing ever. Like I can't even think of another prompt. Like, you know, someone frightened of his feet. Like really bizarre things and
Yeah.
things like that.
A
So
lot
I
of
could-
fear in this game. It
I was
seems.
it was very frightening. It's very weird. But like Cards Against Humanity online works
Yeah.
really well, like super well.
I think there's like a critical mass of when you start going over 20 people, it starts to become more
Yeah.
difficult to do online activities. But if it's under 20 people, like I would just encourage you to have a Zoom call open and then just do online activities. And we found that an excellent way to get people involved after club nights. And people stick around, and like lots of people stick around. It's just been like really good. And then equally, I would build on that. Watching out rounds through a Zoom call where you can chat to each other and talk shit about the teams, and it's just like replicating the classic group chat experience of watching out rounds where everyone is like,
a weak group chat.
it's so good. An out round group chat.
I do struggle with like the Zoom with big groups. It's really like always talking over.
Yeah.
And like you can't tell when someone's about to speak, so you can't really see their facial expressions in that much
So
detail.
this is interesting. For a completely unrelated thing, I've had to do a couple of podcasts over the last 2 months or so. Doing it digitally, I find really difficult. Whereas I did one in person the other day, and it was significantly easier because you can read off body language and whatever, and the conversation is more free flowing and stuff as a result.
Do you want to hype your other podcast
No,
on the show? He cheats on us with another podcast. It's deeply sad. Yeah. So obviously there are difficulties. But yeah, I think the group chat experience is something that provides a good foundation for the way that you should continue to engage with debating throughout the out rounds of digital tournaments.
If anyone, by the way, speaking of kind of online debating, I mean it's adjacent. Over the last month or so, sometimes I've been having like virtual pub trips with my mates, where we just get on like Facebook Messenger call and just have a few drinks and have a yarn, that kind of thing. If anyone wants to like chat debating and have a few drinks, that'd be cool. Let me know. Well, I don't know. I assume some people don't know Target and Canterbury be up for that kind of thing. I think we've done it like once, but didn't really like frame it as like a relaxed drinks thing. So if you're up for that,
yeah, relaxed drinks with friends. And yeah, in many ways that is just the model that you should, if you are like having a large squad go to Australs, or even like a smaller squad going to Australs, and you're worried about keeping people connected throughout that tournament, I think you just need to be quite like formal and engaged in how you ensure that that people have that like platform on which they can still chat to each other and feel like they're having a good squad experience and can talk to people and debating. Because obviously it's like the conversations that you have and like the random conversations that in many ways make your experience of a tournament. So
probably a good thing about online debating is you can kind of debate with whoever. Well, it's good when we debated with Brindy at whatever that tournament we went to.
Monash Online Open. Melbourne Online Open.
Yeah, thank you, Melbourne, for hosting that tournament.
Yeah, it was great.
So that was cool. I've debated with John a couple times. We started going to the Grand Spa, which is like this Malaysian Pro-Am schools competition. We've been tied up the last couple of weeks. So that's cool. Pretty easy to do that kind of thing. I tell you what, lockdown's really made me think I should just move to like Bali or some other cheap Southeast Asian country and just do consulting work over the internet and just earn in a strong currency and spend in a weak currency. Should really just do that.
I think one of the problems with that is that a lot of traditional business people don't want to do things online. So I went for a meeting with a commercial mediator recently, and he said that a lot of his work had dried up just because people wanted to wait until COVID was over rather than just doing things over Zoom. They have like an inherent distrust of online functioning.
Change a bit there.
Yeah, hopefully. I agree. Especially with just like the increase in working from home and
it just would be way more efficient, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, do we have any questions? I recall a question, so I can have a think about that. There was one question that we got about essentially etiquette when you are debating whether you should have your camera on. How should you be showing respect to others?
Do I have to turn my camera on? I hate turning my camera on when I'm judging.
So I think it's potentially a little bit different when you're judging as to when you're actually just like speaking. Because obviously when you're judging, you don't want to give things away by your facial expressions. And it feels very...
Oh, so you wouldn't have it on if you were judging?
No, I'll turn off my... Well, actually most of the time I leave my camera on, but I understand why people who are judging want to turn this off.
See, I also understand why people who are judging want to, but I think it's polite for judges to have their camera on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, teams then can check you're awake, they have someone to look at.
Yes, that is true.
They have a neutral person to look at while they're speaking as opposed to like an opponent. I think that's much more polite and less weird. Whereas I think if you're not, like if you're the speaker, then anyone else who's not speaking, who is a speaker, does that make sense? I think they should have it off for bandwidth reasons.
Yeah, so obviously bandwidth, and I think the question did premise that they were talking about when we're talking about bandwidth. Assuming everyone has good internet. I quite like having other speakers have their camera on. And I have two examples of one tournament where there was a very strong norm for keeping your camera on, and that was the Melbourne Online Open I did with Joe and Brindy. And I remember after our last debate, Joe and I just took our laptop and came and sat on this exact couch and listened to the third negating speaker. It was very, very tiring. But then at Asia Queer Open, most people would turn off their cameras, either for bandwidth reasons or for anonymity reasons. And I think something is lost when you turn off your cameras. You don't see who you're dealing with. You don't recognize them. there's just like names on a screen, and then if you face them again, it's often even hard to remember who you've previously faced. Where obviously you recognize someone much more clearly than before.
So we do some questions or
Yeah.
some comments and stuff. So there's a few different people who've said they find it disrespectful if the other team turns their video off, if the internet connection is fine or the judge turns their video off. Fair enough. I disagree. I think it's fine. I don't get hung up about that, but I understand different people have different views. Someone else has come through and said, also annoying, ultra high rego fees for negligible costs to conveners. We should cap it at $10. So I don't disagree. I think the solution here is just be highly transparent about what the costs are. So I think my preference would be that convening teams, and look, mate, and no, it's not hard work for convening teams. I think they should probably just do it. We should just be ultra transparent about publishing to the community the exact specific cost of a tournament, how we're apportioning that out. So literally publish your expected P&L. Be like, look, here's where we see all our revenue streams. Here's where we see all our costs. How we're apportioning out those costs to the to different people. Are we having any sense of redistribution in our revenue streams? Just, I think, be really transparent. Because I have a lot of sympathy for capping costs at, say, $10 per person, but I can also understand maybe costs are a little bit higher than $10 per person. Maybe the best way to
Especially if you need lots of like expensive IAs.
Whatever, exactly, right? And if it's the case that you want to pay for expensive IAs to come and it's going to cost you money, just be upfront to the community and say, this is exactly how your rego fee is being spent. And some people will support that and other people won't. And it's up to the community to judge whether that's a good use of money or not. That's my view anyway.
Yeah. And obviously registration fees for online tournaments, even the excessive ones, are just miles less expensive than
Attending a tournament in person.
in-person
Yeah,
tournaments.
naturally.
It's just incredible that I'm going to like a $10 Australs. That just blows my mind.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal, especially for the amount of accessibility, financial accessibility that this is going to build into the system. I'm a big fan. I think that's brilliant. And some campuses, I think, have been very good at letting you know where exactly their money goes. Not to brag, but Auckland Whippersnapper, every dollar they take from you, you know exactly where it's going. And that's kind of tongue-in-cheek, because
really?
there's zero cost.
Oh,
You
right.
can go for no money. Obviously, we're just subsidizing it as a club a little bit for a couple of Zoom accounts. But that's not enormously expensive. But come along, if you support not having high registration fees, like vote with your feet, and come to free tournaments.
Hey,
like
really good anonymous question. How am I meant to jump in the pool between rounds like Bali Australs?
Live somewhere
Oh
with the pool.
god, I know.
Well, I did that. I went for a swim before the day started, like after brekkie. It was so fucking good. Yeah, the tournament was great. We should just
Get a wee bucket, fill it with water, dip your feet in.
Oh, it's so
What
fucking
would
good.
be quite interesting is choosing a single, like I know they talk about it with the Olympics a lot, choosing a single city to host the Olympics
We just have
forever.
it back at that hotel.
Bali.
It was fucking lit because like everything was at the hotel as
Yeah,
well.
and we can destroy a new marble bathroom table each tournament.
That
And
was
then
bad.
just like
That
destroy
was
all.
bad.
Yeah.
That was bad. They might improve
Oh,
their...
that wasn't real marble.
That's your take. It's
It was
conspiracy
painted
marble.
stone. If you don't got charged for real marble, you've been had.
You
And
were
you
had.
deserved it. That was, come on, people.
No, I wrote that, Grace. That's good.
Be skeptical, okay? Don't be sheeple.
Don't be sheeple.
Don't be sheeple.
I had something to say. I do like that, so when Australs for us from New Zealand, even though it's Australia, particularly if it's Asia, it's like a day's travel on either side. And because you have to have the rego day and the departure day, and you have to fuck around with all of that, which is really fun when you go into another country. And the plus side, if you're quite busy or if it doesn't fall in your uni break, then it means that the tournament, if you don't break, then you are busy for 2 days. It takes 2 days of your time, and you can go back to what you're doing, which I think can be quite good. And separate to financial accessibility, in terms of busyness, that's probably good for quite a lot of people.
Yeah.
But also, and I realise it's difficult having adjudicators coming in and out, but I mean sometimes you can have there's been lots of things that Auckland's organised where adjudicators have been for one day, and that wouldn't have been possible if they were
No, that's true.
in the same city.
And I'm hoping we can capitalize on that a little bit going forward as well, in terms of allowing accessibility for judges who can't be in the city or can't be in, finding a way to keep them
Yeah.
going. Like maybe just beaming them in, I think would be interesting. Yeah, so I actually think the future is going to be a lot more online, in-person hybrid, which I think will be very, very interesting.
Well, yeah, it's like, say for schools, some coaching a schools team, we can have them practice a team against a team from the other side of the country, which we wouldn't be able to do normally,
Mm.
and that's quite good.
Ailey did that so much with the
Which is really good.
Kaharangi Marlborough team. She was, in fact, I think I beamed in from Paris to judge around.
Which is
Yeah, so there's been some early adopters of digital technology, and then those tend to be people who
Maybe
just
to-
have to
Yeah.
because of geographic isolation, and they cope.
Otago Skypes in judges and mentors a lot.
Yeah, which I obviously just think we should just continue to do as much as possible,
Mm.
and even more.
I mean, like in person is still best, but there are advantages, you know.
Yeah,
agree.
you're right.
Obviously, time zones are a little bit of a
It's gonna
tricky
be
issue.
fucky, isn't it?
So if we have to do digital worlds, I'm going to just a week before readjust my sleeping schedule.
But they won't. You won't be made to be up at night.
Yeah, sure.
No,
It's
they'll,
worlds.
they'll break it into time zones. So that's what they've proposed for world
Explain.
schools. So there'll be brackets. So it'll be like probably will be with Asia, so like an Australasia time zone. You know how it's like open. You know,
Think,
ESL break.
Daniel, think about it like a rugby World Cup with pools.
Okay,
effectively the
so
impulse
is that
by
like a
time
pool
zone.
Yeah.
system?
So it'll be like countries with similar-ish time zones. This is my guess. I know this is what it's intended
That's
for
bizarre.
online world schools. But I imagine, it will have to be for the World's University. It will have to be the same.
No,
Otherwise,
everyone
can
should just wake up.
No, but can you imagine
No.
the fuss against like whichever country had it in their ideal time zone? People would flip out. I think they'll probably have to do it by bracket. So like teams from similar
Time zones, yeah, compete against each other.
slices. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's, you might have to like get up early or stay up late, but you won't have to be nocturnal.
Hmm.
I suspect that is my guess. If I'm wrong, yeah, just your sleeping cycle. But my guess is that they'll have to break it up by time zone. Like, can you imagine the fuss if like it was in the perfect time zone for the UK? Everyone else would flip out.
Yes, which is why we should just keep the Korea time zone. I think we should just be like, the tournament was going to be running Korea time. Not going to give favor to anyone. Obviously, we couldn't predict a pandemic. Not going to intentionally give favor to anyone, and
That's
teams will just
bizarre.
have to wake up. No, I think you lose a lot when you break it into pools. And you have community, like a lot of the joy of Worlds is debating against teams that aren't from your specific region. I just think like teams are going to have to suck it up. Like,
I don't know if that's fair.
Wake
but
up,
Not, but not everyone can do that.
I mean, if people are committing to Worlds, I don't see why they can't readjust their sleeping schedule for a
I think
bit.
if you make
That's
if you make Grace debate till like 3 in the morning, I think this flat is
But not everyone has like literally the physical ability to like completely fuck their sleep
yeah,
schedule for
no,
no reason.
I actually agree.
I think it's going to be a unique challenge of this Worlds.
I
Do
think it might be. No, I won't say that.
you think it's going to be cancelled?
No, don't worry.
Okay, I'm going to ask you after that.
Yeah, ask me after the pod.
I think it would be unfair. Like, can you imagine someone like I realize I'm taking the most extreme example here, but someone who like I don't know has a chronic condition that means sleep's really important, and then they're told to like get up at 1 a.m. or lose.
So the way I imagine is that teams will have to like pre-adjust their sleep schedules. But the thing is, like, those people.
Because what if you've got jobs?
Yes and no, because remember, if people travel overseas, they're already readjusting their sleep schedule by traveling. Like, they
Sure.
are staying awake at different times than they were previously.
But they're like forced to by the travel. Whereas what you're suggesting is like
There's people voluntarily do it. I just
Right.
don't think the leap between, like, I don't think the travel, like, obviously the degree which your body has to adjust to time zone is the same whether you travel or whether or not you do it from home. And I don't see why doing it at home is more onerous. In fact, I think it'd be less onerous
no,
than
well, that's just
traveling.
not true, right? Because when you're in a different country, you have the light cues, which make it a
Yeah,
lot
so
easier.
light is true.
And also you have the meals at the
cheers.
same time, the people around you.
Yeah.
You're
gonna have to really
friend,
commit.
friend of the pod, Rob, has pointed out that breaking into pools would require a big rewrite of the rules and constitution of worlds. Not impossible, but would require work.
I mean,
Well,
that's true.
well,
Maybe it
fuck,
will
Rob.
turn out to be your thing.
And that would be cool because we all love Worlds Council.
Yeah.
I bet getting that constitutional change. to
Can you
Worlds
imagine
Council will be a
teams
big
have
vote.
readjusted their sleeping schedules and then it's announced that they have to
Yeah.
like
Well, maybe you're right,
readjust.
or maybe people will just have to do it, but then I guess we'll have to pick career time. But I think that's kind of like unfair in its own way. Like,
of course there's going to be advantage and disadvantage. I think that's unavoidable when you have a pandemic in different time zones. But but there's also a huge advantage if you're in a weaker pool, right? To breaking a worlds. Way more significant than having to readjust your sleeping schedule.
I think both solutions are literally insane.
I think that probably if it has to be online, it should be cancelled.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
That's probably what I think.
Nah,
Like,
I think
you
it'll be
don't
fine.
want to hear that, and I hate to hurt you by saying it, but I think probably it'll have it's gonna be so difficult.
Any
Like,
solution would just be crazy, right?
or even if not crazy, very difficult surely to get past council.
Yeah, we might have to host.
And the other thing is, and Rob will be able to tell me after the pod, to get that constitutional change, do you need a simple majority of representatives at council? Or do you need some kind of supermajority? Would we feel comfortable with passing that change by supermajority if the minority were historically excluded clubs and nations?
Mhm.
I don't know.
I hope I never, ever understand the word at constitution.
Who's that
Well,
one for that? Commissioner Wong. Shut.
Well, so worst comes to worst, and they're hosting Worlds. The alternative is everyone does a 2-week quarantine in Korea, which I think is potentially way more onerous than asking people to wake up at a slightly different time. But you'd just be like, hang it then. No Worlds this year.
I think if there's 2-week quarantine, that won't be doable.
Yeah. No, so I think 2-week quarantine is probably just too onerous. People won't do it. But I think plenty of people would rather that we have Worlds and they just wake up at a weird time than not having Worlds.
Maybe you and Brendy.
Yeah, Brindy. Well, like obviously, like Brindy was able to do it for just like a one-off means nothing tournament. We could definitely do it for, and maybe there's just I just
To be fair, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
For me, because I've got,
a routine.
like oh yes, I'm very routine. I don't like my routine being perturbed. But like, I've got like many years left of Worlds if I want.
Yeah.
So
no,
for me,
fair.
it's less like
but
urgent.
obviously, like
But I can see,
for most people,
Yeah.
Well, most campuses want to do Worlds or have people that want to do Worlds. So I don't think they'd be cancelled. Maybe it's just a lot
Then
smaller.
again, we'd think
It's just
that,
committed
but then
people.
only 2 NZ campuses are going to Australs.
Uh,
Or has that changed?
Yes. Well, 3. I think Canterbury is considered. Canterbury's still considering sending a team.
I saw a really good meme the other day.
That's only
where
Vic really has dropped out.
Where
Canterbury
the
doesn't
basic premise of the meme was that we're just writing off 2020.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
might just be writing off 2020, eh?
What I'm hoping for is not that we can go in person and have to 2-week quarantine. I'm hoping that, and I don't know if this is about to happen either, it's got its own problems, that because Korea looks like South Korea, I'm not talking about North Korea, I don't know, because no
They
one
have no
knows, it's
COVID.
very mysterious. Well, that quite. Maybe we could host it in North Korea, because they have no COVID. In South Korea, they seem to control it quite well.
Yeah.
And we control it quite well. So New Zealanders could go to South Korea.
Yeah.
Potentially, with no
The
quarantine.
major problem is just Worlds
the
requires
rest
the
of
World.
yeah, so it might be like,
We get to go and they have to wake up.
So,
at
for
weird
example,
times.
if you live in the United States and your president says, if there's a second wave, we're not going to shut down the country, we're just going to roll with it. South Korea might say, well, Americans aren't allowed in South Korea.
Several
Remember-
countries have announced that they're reopening borders, but not to the United States. A lot of European countries have excluded the United States from there.
but remember, as Trump pointed out, they only have a lot of cases because they do tests.
Yeah.
Oh,
He explained this. If you don't test, you have a case. But once you test, you get cases.
Yeah.
and lots of
So-
other countries have done no tests.
No, you
And that's why they've got very few cases.
Exactly. So
But obviously,
report that, CNN.
obviously the one of the major points is that we're still really far away from Worlds, and we could either have a big development in point of contact testing, and just like the availability of testing for when you arrive in a country that gets rid of the need for quarantine, or we could develop effective treatments that means that the urgency to stop transmission is significantly decreased.
I think that is very unlikely just because of how good we generally are at dealing with
Yeah.
viruses.
Or maybe Trump could get lucky and pump out a vaccine in the next month and
Yeah,
untest it,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
it looks like it's fine.
Apparently, a quarter of
ridiculous.
Americans have said they've no interest in taking a vaccine for it.
Wild. Apparently, quite a few. Wait, was it you who told me this story about? May have been a Singaporean debater actually who mentioned it to a friend. And that there was rumors going around in Singapore that the government had given people vaccines.
No. This is the story. When I had to go to the
Yes,
doctor
this
a
was
few
yours,
months ago. This was in like February. I was overhearing a conversation between two friends, and they were like, "Oh, you worried about COVID?" And one of the people there was like, "Oh no, it's fine because I got vaccinated for the coronavirus when I was in Singapore, when I was at home in Singapore." And the other person was like, "I don't think they have a vaccine for
Yes.
coronavirus." And they're like, No, I definitely got a
Well, if you are that person and you are watching the stream,
noise from the bench.
please let us know
Oh,
because we would
sorry.
like to go to Korea and have Korean barbecue. In fact, we went to Korean barbecue last Friday.
It's not the same as
Um,
Korean barbecue.
No, unfortunately, it's not
No.
Korea.
Nick, God bless the giant plate of pork. Oh, the giant plate of pork.
Yes, we did eat a lot of kimchi though, which is very good. Any more questions?
Let's look. How to effectively yell when Edge can control the volume? Well, you can't, can you? But also, maybe
you shouldn't.
maybe if you need to yell to reinforce your debating style, that's a problem with you.
Yes, stop yelling at judges. They don't like it. I actually think that it's going to be really interesting how online debating values certain styles over other styles. I definitely think I speak slower online than I do in person, which I think has been helpful for my debating in general. So making that adjustment, I think, has been a valuable thing. And also briefly, once again, on the social stuff, and I know Grace doesn't like to talk to people after debates, but one of the really cool things about Yatly as a platform is after every round at AQO, the judges would leave, like you could physically see their cameras leaving the rooms to go into like their judge deliberation room, and then all of the speakers would turn on their cameras and everyone's in the right positions, and then you can just have a chat about how the debate went. It really, really effectively mimicked for me what it's like after a tournament. After a debate to have like awkward conversations with people in the same rooms as you, and I think I actually made friends at that tournament, and I never thought that I would make friends through an online debating platform that obviously feels way more artificial than doing it in person. But I think we just require a norm shift. People have to, just if they want to make friends, make friends. Like talk to people after debates, send them messages on Facebook, ask them how the tournament's going. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to make adjustments. And if you're willing to try, there is a free tournament this weekend coming up that I think will be very social.
What is it?
If you're keen. Whipsnapper. Not this weekend. The weekend after. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh yes.
No, I may not be able to do it.
Exciting. Well,
I
it's online,
know
you can just
if
follow
Worlds
on
was
that.
cancelled, should we do an NZ and Australia if the bubble has been extended Queenstown tournament?
That would be sick.
Do you know how? Oh, it'd be
It'd be
cool,
very
but do you
expensive.
know how fucking expensive Queenstown at New Year's is? And also,
Why
imagine wasting money on Queenstown at New Year's to do debating. Like, let's just go to Queenstown.
And do like a January 8th tournament.
Queenstown has lots of scump, which is a really interesting kind of duck that I haven't really seen anywhere else.
That's a very interesting fact. Now we have
I
to
have a
have.
duck Instagram. That's why.
Do you want to plug it?
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
I'm just
Someone
saying
dropped the
that's why I'm
duck Instagram.
What's the old Is it just Dunedin Ducks, Grace?
It is, yeah.
It is just.
But that's what I like about Queenstown. The harbour is like filled with these little black
Yeah.
ducks.
And Queenstown is just exceptionally beautiful. Like when you land there, you're going between these two like mountains, and it's just exceptionally pretty. Like,
So I've actually never flown in.
oh
So
really?
I quite like to. I've heard it was
Oh, it is
very
quite
beautiful.
good.
Flying
We
into
should
Queenstown is
fly.
excellent.
Let's go down with Mitch one weekend.
The bus is actually also really nice from
Yeah.
Dunedin. Really nice bus ride. But the thing about being in a high bus in New Zealand roads is those corners.
Oh yeah,
Oh god, being up high and like,
yeah.
Oh,
no,
the-
fuck that.
oh, I hate that. I hate that coming around the corner.
It is unpleasant.
In terms of gathering somewhere physically, though, that's surely doable, particularly for squads, because I think that's what's nice about the socialising time with squads. So if your squad can get together and all Zoom in from campus, then that's
Yeah, and get together with other squads from your city. Like, try and make sure you have a good community feel going. We'll see if we can get some AUT people along. to some of our training events and our run-up. Yeah, and also it's a really cool opportunity.
Debating.
Yeah, they do. It's very on and off though. It exists. The E2 debates.
Oh, wow.
They often have to floppy, which is nice. And then they'll drive down with us.
That's very intriguing.
But yeah, use your run-up to tournaments as a way to like really instill squad spirit in people. So really get into that BYO life, where you have like a day of debating and then you take people out, just to make sure that they feel engaged and feel supported.
Do you know where else we could go to? I went to Russell years ago, probably 10 years ago. I'd like to go back to Russell, up in the Bay of Islands. That'd be pretty chill.
Yeah. I'd be keen to do like an Auckland trip, maybe actually the day before Austral starts. There's an incredible beach. I think it's called Mate. That's just like really stunning, and it'd be cool to take around. I think it's very wintry at the moment.
I reckon this summer we should do a wee trip up to Russell. I think it'd be fucking chill as fuck. That'd be good.
I really like the Coromandel.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
the
should we go to
Coromandel.
Fumatau on weekends?
Kind of like underrated, I think.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
Like,
I don't
Also,
know.
I
People are
think
all
they
about
have-
like overhard stuff these days, but Fumatau's fucking nice.
We should go up to Keri and Kaitaia, and then go to the chili bottling factory in Kaitaia, and then buy lots of
oh
chili
my god,
products.
of course that's where it's from. Do you know what? I just thought it was an unrelated thing that the brand had that word.
No,
I
It's
just
literally Kaitaia Fire.
didn't put that together.
it is probably my favorite chili sauce.
It's fucking good.
It's amazing.
It's fucking good. I like it on gumbo.
Get a
Bit of
big bottle.
seafood.
Yeah, because it's a nice like vinegary, very acidic chili sauce. It's good.
I got caught in a rip at the Coromandel once, and
Really?
I was in a background shot of Piha Rescue.
That's
Well,
incredible.
Piha Rescue is actually just at Piha, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's filmed at multiple beaches on
Really?
the Coromandel because I kid you not, because not enough people drown at Piha.
That's not huge. Yeah.
Yeah, so they filmed.
Oh, okay. I apologise.
Where's Piha not an Australian program?
No. Bloody hell.
Yes, it's here in the Coromandel.
Ah, interesting.
Is Piha in the Coromandel?
Well,
Sure.
I went to stay in the Coromandel.
What's the beach in Australia? The Sydney one.
Maybe we drove to Piha.
Bondi?
Not Bondi.
I don't know where
Yeah.
Piha is. I don't know where Piha is, but I know that they also filmed Piha
I
Rescue.
don't know. I thought Piha was out west. I'm not from Auckland, but
Neither.
I thought Piha was out near
Well, I
Tauranga
don't know
or
where
something.
Piha is, but
Auckland for
You're
me
on-
is a little square around central Auckland, and then some suburbs where my friends
Joe keeps trying to tell me it's an isthmus,
live.
as if I know what that is, and I'm never gonna learn. And don't try and tell me. I'm not gonna Google it. I don't want to know.
It's like a peninsula that doesn't stop.
Daniel?
Sorry.
It's like a little scoopy bit.
Yeah.
I'm not
Scoop.
interested.
Scoop.
Not interested. It's none of my
And
business.
you got the ocean on both sides.
None of it. Also, speaking of the ocean, none of our business what's in there. We should stop looking. And that's my deep belief. Like, I might explore the jungles. I'm interested in hearing about more frogs. I don't want to know what's along with the ocean. I don't think anyone should investigate.
One of the things that makes me really mad is that at its narrowest, Auckland is only like a kilometre between the east and west coast, right? Well, it might be a few kilometres, whatever. The point is it's really narrow. But the idea is like if you wanted to sail from like here to the bit over here that you can see, you have to go all the way around.
Oh, no, I don't want to think about that.
No, I know. I don't want to think about it. I'm just saying it's uncomfortable, right?
It is.
We should build like a Panama Canal.
I
through
don't know.
Auckland.
I just think we need to. It's something
It's
we
quite
need to
thin.
think, something we need to think about.
There's two options. We build a big canal, or we widen that portion.
What about
I don't think we
underwater
can leave it
tunnel?
as it
Can we
is.
do an underwater tunnel? Is that possible?
No, I think we should do.
What, for like submarines?
Chop it off. Add an extra
I don't know.
island, or-
Boats can't go through underwater tunnels.
It would like.
Oh, unless you did like a canal that was
Yeah.
closed on top.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
bridge over.
Like land bridge.
Yeah, so
Well,
obviously the top of the tunnel would have to be like N meters above sea level, and then yeah, it would be like a closed canal.
You guys just talking about a bridge?
No, because it's like land.
Because it's going to the whole
We'd
earth.
cut out the land.
No, because you can't cut. Well, like, technically, yes.
Yeah, you would.
Technically, you would make New Zealand into a
I
bridge.
don't do engineering. I don't know how this would work. I'm just saying I want like
The
yeah,
isthmus
exactly.
becomes technically a bridge,
Mm.
but in the same way that like a street that has a pipe under it is a bridge.
Oh, I see what you mean. I
Yeah.
see what you mean.
Yeah.
No, that would work.
Umber has confirmed my reckons that Piha's in West Auckland. I thought it was
Nice.
West Auckland.
there's some debating knowledge. Okay, if there aren't any more questions, I reckon we prepare for our dinner party.
Yeah, I'm going to start making some food.
Wonderful.
Some liquor.
I don't have any more thoughts.
See you in 20 under.
Yeah. See you in 20.
I bought some more Evos.
And and see everyone else at Whippersnapper, which will be exceptional. So sign up. Only one more day. Find some friends.